Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I'll give everyone a moment to join. I'm going to log in also, and let me get Katrina in here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. I gotta log on into
Okay.
YouTube. I can do that part. Hello,
Hello,
hello, hello.
hey, how are you? Let me turn the volume off.
I have my headphones. Do I need headphones?
No, you don't. I mean, if you want to.
Nah, I'll do without the headphones. Then. You turn this off.
Oh shoot. Okay, let me see. So I have my laptop's not charged, so I'm using my husband's phone, so I can still read, comments and stuff.
Okay. This is my first live, so let me click in. Let me turn it on. Okay. Did you want to wait or do you want to get started?
I'm trying to see if I'm going to be able to. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can log in on here because I want to share it to my community tab again.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I didn't think about that. Using somebody else's device. I was like, oh, this isn't logged into my stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's so true. You're so used to your own stuff.
Right. I'm so used to being on my own devices and having everything set up.
Oh, my husband's on. Hello, honey.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to leave out real quick and I'm going to share us out to my community tab and then come back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Katrina will be back. I don't know if you guys heard her. She's going to log back in and then log back in. Log out and log back in. So just give us a couple moments. This is my first live. This up. I hope everyone is having a great evening. It's almost truly my bedtime. Seriously. I go to bed very early on Sundays. So, as you guys know, tonight we're going to be talking about the Shanquella Robinson that, and I'm trying to make sure I don't say something to offend YouTube. We're going to be talking about that event that happened in Cabo this evening. So, bring your frustrations, but please, everyone, make sure we're all adults. At least in my on my YouTube channel, we're all adults. We're supposed to be. Please make sure you're respectful because everyone has different opinions, and just because you don't agree with them doesn't mean they're wrong, and it doesn't make you right. So I just want to go over that housekeeping rule. And again, Katrina will be right back. Hello, L Barber. I'm not sure who it is, but thank you. Thank you for being here this evening. Yes, please like and share. Again, we're here to, I want to make sure that we talk about some true things also, because I definitely noticed. Oh, I think she's asking to get back in. Lord have mercy. Girl, I just forgot you was over there.
That's okay. So I'm using my husband's phone. So L Barber is my husband.
It's you, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
me.
You say, I'm back. So I'm like, oh, okay, what's that mean? Okay, I'm back. Okay. Okay. So I'm sure you heard what I said. I want to go over some true statements, and then I know for the case, like people don't always get all the right information.
Right.
So I wanted to like start with like the names of everyone, and you correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
because I don't know the difference between Khalil and Malik. That was one thing, like I'm not sure exactly who they are.
Okay.
So on October the 20, wait, what was it? The 28th, they left to Cabo. It
Right.
was it was six of them because Nazir stayed, correct?
Right. It
He
was
was
six of them that when he didn't come there till that Saturday.
okay. So, and the names of the people are Nazir Wiggins, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Winter Donovan, Dejanay Jackson, which was a main person in the video.
Right.
hmm Alyssa Hyatt, Malik St. Patrick is a dryer, and Khalil Cook.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nazir is supposedly her best friend. Is that correct?
Well, according to the mom,
Uh-huh.
it was actually Khalil that was her best friend.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when the mom did the interview with Nancy Grace, the mom, she, was saying, she just felt like, him coming and telling her, what was, his version of what was going on. He had been on family vacations with them and everything, according to the mom.
Okay. They went on the trip due to them. It was whose birth? It was two people's birthdays, correct?
Dejanay and Nazir.
Right. Okay. I want to make sure people understood that because there's so much false information. I didn't want to give out, any more untruths. So,
Right.
um, so I also want to make sure I highlight her because she is the victim in this, and I think a lot of the time we forget that.
Right.
We look at a video and it's just like we don't make that person a human. And she was a businesswoman, and hey, I cuss, so she was a boss bitch. you know,
Right. She
she,
was like and for her to be so young, she like had a good
yeah,
head on her shoulders, and it
yeah,
seemed like she, was very goal driven. And you're right. Like in situations like this, the victim, they kind of, what the heck, y'all? I thought it was a ghost. I thought it was ghost. They tend to kind of get lost in the sauce. Like people forget that it's really about the victim in the situation.
right, right. And then the timeline, that is the most confusing thing
Oh my God! Right?
because
It's
I
so
saw
confusing.
someone today said it was a morning time.
Right. Okay. Because when you look at that video, the video that first came out, in
hmm
that video, you could kind of, it was daylight out, but it wasn't like the sun wasn't out bright.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know if you kind of noticed. I mean, that's what I took from the video, and it seemed like it was maybe like early morning,
Okay.
maybe. but there's not really like an exact time of when, they probably know when that video was recorded, like what time, but they haven't released that information.
Yeah, true.
You
That's so
know,
true. So, yeah, I don't know if it was because she was naked, and it wasn't during that time to where she had the video and was like, I can't remember what she said. Y'all get naked or what have you. That wasn't the time that they did it. That wasn't.
I don't even remember her saying that.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. There's a video with her. I think what she said, "Hey, you hoes" or something. You know how these
Okay, I
girls.
remember what video you were
Right.
talking about. And they were trying to say that that was the video where they were all in one room and she was like looking for them and they were like huddled up, plotting or whatever. And she was like, "Hey, hoes, like, where y'all at?"
Yeah.
And she was recording while she was doing it. I
Yes.
think maybe that was that Friday before
Okay.
they had dinner, because remember, she also went live on Instagram while they were
Okay.
having dinner because they had a personal chef come.
Yeah. Yeah. And she
So
told
maybe
her.
it
She
was
told her
around
mom.
that time. Right. Maybe it was
Okay.
around that time. I don't know.
Okay. Did they ever say what she did or what
No.
happened?
The one girl allegedly,
Winter.
Winter,
Yeah.
made a video or recording or whatever saying, "Oh, well, basically blaming Shanquella, like making it seem like, oh, whatever she did, she deserved it." But they never
Mhm.
said what she did.
Exactly. Yeah. And if that was really Winter, like, I'm not trying to be ugly, but her attitude was stank.
Real thing.
She had a stank
Very, very stank.
attitude. Yeah, she's giving me hood vibes. Yeah, she giving me that type
Yeah.
of vibe.
But according to her mom, this wasn't really the group of friends that she would normally travel with either.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this supposedly this wasn't, because the mom wasn't familiar with the majority of the people that she had gone on the trip with, and the dad, he said that he didn't even know that she had left the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I watched when everything first happened, I watched the interview where he was saying that he got the phone call saying that she had passed, and he was like, "Well, where is she?" And they were like, "Oh, she's in Mexico." And he was like, "Well, when did she go to Mexico?" Like, he didn't even know that she had left the country. I mean, she's an adult; she can do what she wants to do. But it's
Yeah.
kind of, like, I know for me personally, I'd probably let more people know. But the mom, it seemed like the mom knew.
Yeah.
Maybe the mom and dad aren't together anymore, and maybe whatever. That's why
Yeah.
the dad didn't know. But he didn't even know that she had left the country. He was like shocked. He was like, "I didn't even know she was going on a trip."
Well, I know her mom said that that was one thing she liked to do. Like, she went to Florida, she went
Mm-hmm.
to Jamaica. Like, she liked to travel.
Right, to travel.
Yeah, so I remember her mom definitely saying that about her. But these were college friends that she had went to
Right,
college with.
right. And I believe from the sound of it, it seems like she was still in school.
Okay.
Like, she was getting ready to graduate. So maybe she was, going to get a bachelor's or a master's, whatever. But yeah, they were college friends. Now, I don't know if Nazir went to college with them. It seems like the family was kind of familiar with him already,
Yeah.
and Khalil. So maybe those two were friends that she knew from before, and then the other people were maybe college friends.
So okay, so the timeline is she left October 28th, they left.
Right.
Then not even 24 hours later, she was pronounced deceased.
What was the 28th on a Thursday or a Friday? Was it a
I
Thursday or
can
a Friday?
I have
Let
to
me
look.
see.
Because I thought it was the 28th, and then the 29th, she was pronounced deceased. And then but I know it was phone calls in between there too.
Right, right. There was phone calls. Let's see. Okay, so the 28th was a Friday. Okay, so yeah, they left that Friday, which was the 28th, and the 29th is when
Mm-hmm.
the incident happened and she was pronounced deceased. And then the 30th, they were really supposed to stay until the 31st, and they left on the 30th.
Okay, I thought the mom said, okay, so there's a couple days. She did say they didn't leave right away.
Right. Well, what they did was after everything went down and they ended up, I guess finally, calling the doctor and taking her to the hospital and all that stuff, they left the villa.
Yeah.
And they were all staying, different, and then they left out that following morning.
Right. Right. It's confusing because the mom said, and let me go back to my timeline. It was she talked to her about the chef and the tacos.
Right.
Okay. And then so that had to be the 29th, right? And I think so.
Well, the 29th, okay, let me see. I'm gonna pull up a calendar. That way it makes a little bit more sense. Okay,
Yes.
so the chef and the tacos was the first night that they got there. And that's when they were on Instagram and they was recording and all of that. That's when that was. But Saturday the 29th, maybe because remember the time there is different from the time here.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe she talked to her mom Friday night after they had dinner.
Okay.
Because it seems like on Saturday, the only communication with the mom was from the friends.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was the day that, everything happened. But I think that because the mom said that she did sleep with no clothes on. They did say that. So I'm thinking that they probably kind of woke her up out of her sleep.
That's what they said.
Right. Like kind of woke her up out of her sleep and, did what they did. Now, it was two guys there. Khalil was there.
And Malik.
And Malik. They were there.
Okay.
Malik, I know Khalil is the one with the beard that they're saying was standing next to the person who was recording.
Okay.
And the person who was recording was like, damn, you could at least fight back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. Because it's so much, but we don't know.
So much that happened in like such a short period of time, right?
It did, and we don't know exactly who recorded. It's never clear on who recorded it.
I think it wasn't Khalil, it was the other guy that was there. That's what I'm thinking. Because the person that was recording is the one that said, damn girl, at least fight back.
Yeah. It was a male's voice.
And that was a male's voice.
Yeah.
Now I know it was the one that has the beard and he was standing next to, and it shows that side profile of him.
Yeah, I saw that. I know it was like a rumor that Dejanay was a man, but she's not.
Right. On Tisa Tells, who I've kind of been following this because her information just seems like it's not all over the place. It's easier to understand. They confirmed that she is indeed a woman and not a male.
Right.
Right.
A strong woman. Got a strong jawline.
Right.
Strong.
Okay, because even when I showed my husband that video and he was like, that's a man. He was like, what? He was like, why is he hitting her? Like, you can't, I couldn't even watch the whole video,
Oh, that weighs on your heart for real. Because I feel like the reason why it's getting so much, public eye, or especially, and shout out to the Black YouTubers, Black Twitter. I mean, shout out to because man, they made this thing go public.
And that's what I was about to say. It's really the social media influencers, the creators that are keeping this story alive.
Yeah.
Because mainstream media, they're not really worried about this. They're like, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. They did their little, their little spiel on it, and that's it. But every single day, you come on this platform or any other, and it's still circulating. So because we can't let up.
Yeah. Because we have such a our attention spans are really short. So it's like this, and then it's on to the next thing.
Right. So you gotta keep bringing it up, so that way it stays like embedded in everyone's mind. Like somebody asked me, they're like, why do you watch these videos about this every day? I said, because this is so important. This is what we need. So many times stuff happens to, people of color, and they don't get the attention, like it doesn't get that same, due diligence that other cases get.
Right. It doesn't, which is so sad. It's so sad because we're still human. We have families and moms and sons and all the and kids and stuff like that too. I feel like the reason why it's so important too, or it's almost like it's personal, because everybody had a hater. And it seems like to me
Mm.
they were haters.
That was built up anger.
Oh
To
yeah.
me, my opinion, I feel like that was built up anger.
Allegedly. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Your
feel
opinion.
right. I feel like, it was like they was just waiting for that moment.
And
They
I
were just
wonder.
waiting for that moment because they knew they couldn't do that back at home. You're
Nope.
not going to jump her back at home and think you going, you know?
It's cousins and everybody, uncles and everybody rolling up if
Right.
you would do some stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah. They I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I it was planned for them to do that. I feel like that. The where it's blurry and I don't know if she planned on unaliving her.
Right. I feel like she wanted to embarrass her, though. They
That's
wanted
and
her,
we grown.
right. They wanted to be able to embarrass her. But even
Yeah.
her mom said, she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't
Mhm.
someone that would, fight somebody. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they probably knew that.
They knew it. They
You
knew
know,
it. Yeah.
I mean, they had to be somewhat close friends to go out of country with you. I mean, would you go out of country with a random person that you just met? Like, so they had to have some sort of, relationship of hanging out and doing stuff, prior to taking that trip.
Right. They had to.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, but young people are different. Like, not like we're not young. I mean, I ain't young no more, but I'm not in that
But
category.
listen, but we ain't meeting nobody today talking about going to Cabo with them next weekend. Like, no, we're
But
not
they
doing that.
different. But they different
Yeah.
too. They're a
Yeah.
little bit different. So okay, so the timeline I want to go back. I got distracted. Was the mom said she talked to her about the chef. The next phone call she got was I believe Khalil called her.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And said the doctor's on his way. She wasn't feeling well. She has alcohol poisoning. And then the mom said to him, and this is what I got off. She did an ABC News
Right.
interview.
Her interview that she did. She didn't even know what alcohol poisoning was. She was like, what's that? How do you know
Right.
she has that?
Exactly. Because she said, because the doctor's not there. So
Mm.
how would he know that? Or no, he didn't think that. I don't think he thought that. I think he knew at that moment we effed up.
Mm-hmm. And he was trying to make a plan and a timeline and a story. So the mom be like, oh, but they would never do that. They called me and told me she wasn't feeling well, and
Right.
that's really what it was. And he even told the mom, well, no, I'll wait till you get to the part when the doctor came,
Okay.
but
Okay. So
I feel like he was setting, like when somebody like sets the stage for something,
right.
I feel like
That,
that's
yeah.
what he was doing in that moment.
So okay, so we're there. The doctor came. If I skip anything, Katrina, fill it in. And the doctor tells them that she has, was it alcohol poisoning? Is that what he said? What did
Well,
they
they
say?
didn't say that the doctor said that she had alcohol poisoning. The doctor didn't, they said that they gave her, um,
Like
oh
an
God, they
IV
gave her
fluid.
fluids through like
Right.
an IV, but
Which is
they
weird.
refused to let them take her to the hospital. But when
Yes.
he spoke to the mom after the doctor had came, he told the mom, right, through the IV fluids. They gave her fluids through that way. But he also told the mom, oh, in order for her to go to the hospital, we need $5,000 to
What
pay.
was it? Right. And so that was weird. I couldn't find out if it really, because I know like we've all had stories, right?
Right. Like, and
About Mexico.
and the mom was like, well, she has insurance.
Right. Yeah. So as I said, we all heard stories about Mexico, how they will
Yeah.
kind of do things like that, but I don't feel like they said that. They said they most of the time they would treat you, but then hold you in the hospital. Like, so they're holding you for money. Cause why did it cost so much? Cause I know dang gone, it did not cost that much. I know for a fact it don't. I
Too
know.
many people go from here to Mexico to have medical
Boom,
procedures done for less. So
boom.
I think that they were trying. They were setting, like I said, my opinion. this is an off the record discussion. I feel like, for one, when he made that original phone call, he was setting the stage. When he said for that $5,000, I feel like how Tells says it, I feel
Mhm.
like they were setting up the stage to be able to pay off people,
Yeah.
and probably knew, well, we can't take it from what she has here because then they're going to figure something's up. But let's tell the parents that. And, her parents are probably regular people. Like, they probably don't have $5,000 sitting around,
Right.
just to, okay, here you go,
Right. That's
you
true.
know?
Because how would you get $5,000 that day? You would have to wire that money.
Right. Wire it, Western Union. And you got to find, you don't speak the language. So you got to find the closest, they were on a tourist type place. So I'm pretty sure they had people there that spoke English and stuff too. But it's just like a whole thing. But over there, they will take bribes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, because the autopsy report. Wait, did I skip it? Okay. So we got where the doctor was at. Don't let me skip it. And then she said, by the 5K, we went over that, and then she said the final call from Khalil, right? It was from Khalil. Yeah, it was from Khalil, because he said that she was in an ambulance, but they tried to revive her, and she had passed. And he said it so nonchalant,
Right.
like, oh, she's passed.
Like it was nothing. Baby,
I can't.
she had a cold. Like she had a cold. Like it was like
Right,
nothing.
right. I couldn't, I can't even think about my best friend. I can't, girl. No, I'm gonna tear up. I can't.
Right. Like if this, and that's the thing. Like that's how like some people are just so heartless, because this is someone who you've known. I'm pretty sure they've known each other for years. He's gone on family vacations with these people, and for you to just kind of be like, oh, she's not here anymore. All right, we'll see you when we get back.
Yeah, and then, okay.
And they put pajamas on her.
They did get her dressed. They
put pajamas on her.
They did. So they had to have, in my opinion, they had to have known that she was no longer here.
Of course they knew, because on the autopsy report, it says that with the injuries that she had, she would have, passed within 15 minutes.
Yeah. Because it's like, so with the injury that she had, I learned in nursing school, you can get that injury like in a car wreck.
Okay.
It's rare, but it can happen. A car can hit you and that freaked me out. I was like, what the hell y'all saying? Like, what is really going on?
Right.
You can get that injury and you can pass away. It's mostly from a car wreck, is from my understanding, that happens. Because it paralyzes you. So it's your neck, the top of your neck, the very first part of your spine of your neck. And so everything down is paralyzed. So what that means is you can't swallow. Your lungs are no longer going to inflate and deflate anymore.
Right.
Your heart is going to stop. That's exactly, and your body just flops. It goes limp. And if you look at the video, she goes limp.
Okay, and that's what I was going to bring up, the video. In that video, when you look, and when she first like hits her or whatever, then she goes to the other side of the room, then she comes back and she kind of flings her around. In that moment when she flings her around and she has her hand around her neck, the way she falls on that floor, that was it. In that moment, I really feel like that was it. And I watched so many videos and stuff like that, and it's like I watched that video watched it over and over, like when they were talking about it. And I was like, in that moment, I truly believe that that's when that happened, because even when Nazir got there, he said that she was laying down in the game room. She was laying down in the game room. He asked where she was at. They said, oh, she's in the game room laying down. She has, alcohol poisoning, whatever. And he said when he went in there, he rubbed her head, brushed the hair out of her face, rolled her over on her side, got a bag, and played Summer Walker. But Nazir says that he got there around 3:30, 4 o'clock that afternoon. That situation that happened earlier in the morning. You can tell by the lighting outside. It was early morning.
Okay.
When you go on vacation, you don't sleep in. No matter how late you stay up, you don't sleep in when you're on vacation.
You don't.
Right. That happened early morning. From the time that that situation happened, from the time that Nazir got there, I really believe that she was already cold. He also moved her from the
Mm-hmm.
game room
Yeah.
to the dining room. He said because they were trying to figure out what they were going to eat for dinner.
Ooh, you gotta be a cold son of a gun.
Right.
You worried about what you're gonna eat when this girl. It doesn't even matter. Even if she had alcohol poison, which doesn't make sense because if she did, she wouldn't have been the only person.
What alcohol? Exactly.
So the math ain't mathing on that because she wouldn't have been the only person
Exactly.
that would have been sick. Other people would have been sick
Everybody, right?
also.
Because think about it. You go on a trip, you go on a vacation. I mean, I've been there. 20 something years old. I mean, I had a kid at the time, but I finally get a weekend away from my kid. I'm in the Bahamas. I'm, doing shots and having a good time. But you know your limit.
At
Most
20,
people
do you know
at
your limit at 25? Because I'm a late
yeah,
drinker. I did it.
yeah. I mean, you're not gonna. It's just so weird to me. Like, well, how come she's the only one that had that
Right,
allegedly? But they
right.
were all setting the stage. They were all setting the stage. They knew, okay, well, let's call the mom and tell her this. And then let's, call her back and update her. And then, okay, we're going to, whatever. And then not only that, they packed her bags up and brought it back to North Carolina and dropped it off to the mama house.
Oh, they ain't got no shame.
Anne was going to the mom's house every
Yes,
day up
yes.
until the day that they knew that the autopsy report was going to come back.
That is it's it's so sad. And then why would you record it? Like
Because this
I'm
generation records everything.
I'm glad they did record it because it's evidence. We
Let
don't
me
know
tell
who
you,
sent her the
right, they
video.
they almost got away with it.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
almost, if they did not record it. And did you hear that the mom said that video came out before they found out that she had passed, because
Yes,
somebody called her and told her, oh, they over there fighting.
I saw that. I saw her saying that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It will come out to who told her that. I'm sure it will. When you have that many people doing things, I don't think
And I really feel like they're all talking now. You see, Nazir's mom came out and
I
basically
saw
said that
that.
he's working. He had a court date December 1st and didn't show up.
Oh, he didn't show up.
Yeah, he had a court date for something else, and he didn't show up.
You can't run from the law. They're gonna get you.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I understand why she did that. I mean, that is her baby, and regardless, you two gonna protect you're going to protect your child. But then if they did something wrong, but then Katrina, I want to go back to the part where you said, which is weird to me, and maybe it's just me. My whole relationship with people was different. So you're my friend, and you come and you said I rubbed her head and played Summer Walker. Oh, that's weird to me.
Right. Right. It's very weird. And it's like in his video that he did standing up at that mirror, he's like, oh, I didn't notice any bruising on her. I didn't know. All I knew is that I saw, in her eye that she had a popped blood vessel. It was so many things that he was saying. Like, it was like he didn't really think it through before he went live. And he was just, when somebody just talks just to talk, that's what he was doing in that moment. And he stumbled and said certain things different ways one way, and then another time he said it, and I'm like, this is not making sense at all.
Man,
I think with him, he probably has the least, not probably, does have the least amount to do with it. But in that moment, you claim that you love her so much and you're such, good friends with her. Why didn't you fight for her to be taken to the hospital? Because he was there when the doctor came.
yeah. I, it
You
takes.
know,
They say most people are not heroes. It takes a lot to be a hero. It takes something within that person, and I don't think that he was. They're so young because I have a
right. But then
21
why
year
come back
old.
here and make that video?
Yeah, I don't.
Then he came back here and made that video. That's weird, right?
Yeah, and then you still left her. Like you were telling me, like you said, they left her. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I could have done that. If I could have just left her body. I don't know if I could have did that.
Yeah, because when the nurse found, when not the nurse, when the housekeeper found her,
Lucy,
Lucy, she had to go around and looking for them
because they were out.
because they were not right.
I heard that part too. And then she said that, but they said at that time she should have been cold, which she could have been cold or her body was rigid, is what they said. Now I
Right.
didn't know it was that. I know it's been a couple hours, but I don't the time frame is like it's so frustrating. It's like I want a time frame. Somebody tell me
Right.
something, although they
But you know what?
can't.
I think that it's a lot of stuff that's not being brought out in the public because it is an ongoing case and because, the FBI is probably working some stuff, as well
Mhm.
as the fact that it didn't happen over here. It happened in another country. And, their things are different from how ours are.
Yes,
That's just
ma'am.
like how they say that, Dejanay is, I guess, under provisional arrest until Mexico gets their documents together. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel like anyone's been arrested yet.
They said that. Let me go back to that. I think they said that there was a. Let me see. Because I wrote it down because I was like, I can't remember all this stuff.
Yeah, I
But
know that they said that she was placed under provisional arrest. And with the provisional arrest, the reason why there's no documents of it, because the provisional arrest is what is going to hold her until
mhm.
Mexico gets all of their documentation together. Once they have their documentation
Yeah.
together, then they will come and get her. And then that is when she'll actually be, booked or, whatever.
Okay. I know. So what I it said it had to be vetted through the probable for her to get arrested, for anyone to get arrested over here, it has to be vetted through probable
Right.
cause and then converted to a U.S. warrant to arrest them here. It's so much confusion, but I do know, like, people need to understand when you go vacation over other countries, your constitutional rights that don't exist over there.
Right. It's not the same like here.
It is not. You are you
You
that
do
don't
something
exist.
over there on their soil, you get whatever punishment they're going to give you. It's
And
not
baby,
it's not the same. And that's the thing, a lot of people, they take these trips and they do certain things and it's like, oh, I want to
yes,
have a good time. And then something happens, and, even if it's accidental, something happens and you lose your whole life over one dumb mistake that you made.
I mean but it was, and people need to learn how to respond and not react. There is
Right.
a difference, and I don't know why females, and I have to be honest, I was like that when I was younger. I'm gonna ruin your whole life. I'm gonna ruin your
Right.
whole life. I used to be like that. Like, I'm gonna ruin, you got me effed up, but you got to start thinking.
Exactly. Like, oh, you done tried the wrong person. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna get you. Like that, and I was the same way. I've calmed down a little bit, a little bit.
You
I'm
better
still
let
working on it. But, and that's very true. You have to think before you act. Like, I
them.
just find a really hard time with, really understanding what could she have possibly done to deserve that. It was, to me, it just looked like built up anger.
But it's like, but I feel like, in my opinion, they were haters.
They were, because if you think about it, from the whole crew, she was like the it girl. It was like you was lucky to be cool with her and hang around with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was the it girl. She was the one. She did hair. She
Yeah,
was going to school. She had a good, a good business. She was able to travel whenever she wanted to. It was like she was that girl. And a
yeah.
lot of people don't like that. They can't stand that. You know.
That's so odd. Isn't that just so?
It really is. People hate
Cause
on
you,
you for your hard work and your success, and it's just crazy.
yeah. Cause I root for my friends. Like, hey, girl, congratulations. But I don't. People. It seems like people move differently a little bit now.
Yeah.
Like the whole you have to be a narcissistic person to say I'm gonna get my phone now. I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna record this, and then we're gonna post it on, and
Listen,
she gonna be
narcissistic and
embarrassed.
freaking crazy, because who does that? But this generation literally records everything.
They really do, and not
Everything. And
some of them.
it was actually one of the girls from the group that leaked it.
Who was? Do you know who it was?
Supposedly it was Alyssa.
That's what I was thinking.
That she's the one that leaked it. She, maybe she felt like, oh well, if I, post this or whatever, it's gonna not, it's gonna make it seem like I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, I even feel like with Nazir with his video, I feel like that's what he made that video for, was kind of disassociate himself. But I kind of feel like he incriminated himself within that video too, with
He
saying,
did.
oh yeah, because I moved her. But you came hours after this situation happened and you moved her.
Yeah, I feel like he did too, and that's why everybody is quiet now, because you have to be. So they have lawyered up, and they're gonna tell you, you better be quiet. Don't
Right,
get on social.
because
Yeah.
before Dejanay allegedly, got picked up in Connecticut, her and Nazir had it out on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't see that. I
Yeah,
missed that one.
yeah. Nazir made a post basically saying like, "Oh, Dejanay, you need to go and tell the truth. You need to tell what you did, da da da." And I've been trying to call you. You're not picking up. And he tagged her. It was in his Instagram story. And when you tag someone on Instagram, and it notifies them. So she
Yeah.
made another story post about it. Basically, like cursing him out or whatever. And then like a day or two later is when they said that she had been picked up in Connecticut. And my thing is, if she lived in North Carolina, what the heck
Yeah.
was she doing in Connecticut?
Hiding. She was hiding.
But okay, and then the mom says that all of their passports have been like they can't use their passports.
Okay, which is good.
Right. I mean, none of them seem like they have money like that anyway, but you just never know. You never know.
Family can get together and get some money together.
Right.
Yeah. They get some money together. And I understand that. I'm not blaming the family, because you're going to protect your family. That's just the way it is. You're going to protect your baby, your family. But if they did something wrong, you're going to have to say, hey.
Right. I don't think, I'm going to be honest, and as a mom, it may sound harsh, but there's no way. I don't think that I would be okay. Like, I'd be like, no, you need to go and tell something. Yeah. Like, you need, because in that situation, it's not, snitching. It's telling the truth. You're going to get in trouble anyway. You're going to get in trouble anyway. You already know that there's no way around it. Something's going to happen. You're going to serve time regardless of the fact. So you might as well just go and tell your truth. But no, you're not going to be hiding up. Like, I have Jeremiah. He's 19. Then I have all these little kids. He ain't going to be hiding up in my house with the feds trying to kick my door in and scaring my baby. Like, no.
That's so true. That's so true.
And we, of course, we want to protect our children, and we all feel, that we've raised our kids the best way. Once they're adults, they have to make decisions on their own. We're no longer responsible for the things, for the choices that they make.
Yeah. You hope you pointed them in the right direction, for sure. Like, I have a 21-year-old, and I'm like, hey, you're going to have to face up to what you did or what you know. And I forget this. I don't care about no damn snitching. I'm so sick of hearing that damn word snitch.
Right.
Baby, I'm telling all what you was wearing, what time, what shoes you had on, everything. If you want to call me a snitch, call me a snitch. It is what it is. Because it was wrong.
Too, even with Nazir, he was like, oh, I wasn't even supposed to go on the trip because, I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing for my birthday or whatever. And I'm guaranteeing you, he probably sitting there wishing like hell that he did not go on that trip. He's probably like, Lord, I wish I would have stayed my butt in North Carolina. I know he is, because he came a day later.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And
so what if I'm trying to figure out, what did they do while they were there those couple of days? Were they required to stay there because police?
Well, they were supposed to check out on Halloween, the 31st.
Okay.
They left early morning on the 30th. I guess, the police there or whatever investigator there wasn't like, oh, well, stay here. They assumed like, okay, you're not from this country. Like, where are you going to go? You guys have this villa until, Monday. You're going to be here till Monday. But they left Sunday, they left Sunday morning. But also, too, what I learned was that, here when something happens and, you have investigators come on the scene, it's not like that there. So it was probably a lot of contamination of the scenes and this and that. You never know what they cleaned up before all that happened, because obviously they had no intentions on telling anybody. They,
They
in
did.
their mind, they're probably thinking like how it is here when you go on vacation and you rent, Airbnb or something. Nobody comes in till after you check out. So
Yes. Yeah.
they were probably thinking, oh, that's how this is gonna be. They weren't thinking like, oh, maid service is gonna come in, remove towels, bring clean towels and stuff like that. And that's probably why they just left her there. But Nazir said in his video that the nurse found her hunched over the toilet.
So did they move her again?
They had to move her and place her there.
And so, but okay, but you're a nurse. Let me just, and you didn't know. Now, alcohol poisoning does kind of, but when somebody is not breathing,
Right.
you check respirations, you know what's going on. You check a pulse, you're supposed to know what's going on as a nurse. Do you think, and this is allegedly, and let me make sure, do you think the doctor and the nurse and the police were in on it?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I feel like that too.
Look at where it happened at.
What do you mean?
You
You
know?
talking about the place or the hotel? Because I've heard that the villa is kind
Well,
of sketchy.
yeah, the whole thing where they
Okay.
were at on vacation, just in general, they're probably like, oh, these, young Black kids come over here and da 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 da. You know how people be.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's necessarily the case, but it's kind of like if they would not have posted that video,
Oh,
they would have literally got away. I guarantee you, they would have gotten away with it.
you think they would have? Because I feel like something like that, you can never, with that amount of people.
Oh, somebody would have snitched on
There you
somebody,
go.
but as of now, this whole thing wouldn't be going on.
That's true.
It wouldn't
That's
be going on now. Now it may have come out a year from now, 2 years, 3, 4 year, whatever. Because yeah, they're gonna talk, and I guarantee you, in the midst of all this going on, even after that situation, I promise you, they were probably walking around Cabo or whatever, like, damn, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we going? They was already working their stories out. And Nazir was probably like, I wasn't even here when it happened, so I'm good. You know how people be.
they
And he's like, I didn't know anything about a fight. Think back to when you were that age and something happens and you're with a group of friends.
That's
Y'all
true.
be happy to tell each other about what went down.
Yeah, that's that's so true.
You can't wait for them to come
Yeah.
to tell them what happened. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like any of them were truly her friends.
Mm-mm.
Because
They
friends
weren't.
definitely don't do that. I could never imagine going on a trip with someone and they lose their life. And I know that there was foul play, and I'm just like, oh, well.
It's not gonna happen. Even if I was a person who did it, although I don't do that because I don't fight like that. Because
Yeah.
she attacked her. She assault. That was assault.
Oh my
That
God.
was not a fight.
Yes.
That was assault because she was not fight. People need to
And
understand that too.
she was getting mad because she wasn't getting back up to fight
That's
her.
crazy. You got to be a crazy fool to do something like that. You really
I was
mad because she's
like,
not fighting back? Like
listen,
your mind can't be right, in my opinion. Your
yeah,
mind can't be right.
people love drama.
They do.
They
They do.
love to always be in the middle of some mess, and I call it stirring the shit pot.
Yep.
People love that. They love drama. There's some people that just feed off of drama.
They be shit starters. I'm gonna say it.
Right,
They be shit.
right. and
People
and
are
then
SS.
exactly, and then they came back here with her luggage, gave it to her mom, and they was all coming and sitting with the mom every day.
And then she said, Khalil, she said, I heard you guys were fighting over there. And they denied it. And she said Khalil was sweating buckets. Not
I
bullets,
heard that.
buckets.
Yeah.
And he about came out of his clothes. That's a nervous thing. You get
Mhm.
nervous. That's what people nervous.
Yep,
People
and
do that.
your actions, the way fidget when
Mhm.
people act, and I feel like I hope and pray that her family does get justice, because what was done to her was horrible. It's even worse that it was
Mhm.
done by people that were so-called friends, and it's sad that even has to happen. Like, I don't even think that I would allow my kids to go on no trips with no friends.
I know.
I feel
I'm
like, I'm
scared.
like, no, no, no. I'll go with you though.
Yeah, mom and dad gotta be
I'm
there.
at that point, because you just never know.
Yeah.
You
And when
never
you're
know.
over there, you have to follow those rules.
Mm-hmm.
You, you have to follow those rules over there, and things might get covered up. That's the scary thing about it. I know
Yeah.
I watched another mystery, and it was great advice they were saying on Peacock. You and I, we always watch true crime stuff,
Yeah.
and it was on a cruise ship or whatever, and his friends, his so-called friends that he went with, they end up unaliving him. And the advice they said was, when you go on vacation, you need to go with people with similar interests and people who have money, the same, like about the same amount of money that you do.
Right.
I thought that was really good advice
It
because
and it is, because my thing is this: if you have your finances good and you go on a trip with somebody, but you go with somebody and they only got a few little dollars, it's gonna cause jealous and envy. Regardless if you're on a
it is.
cruise ship where your meals are free and stuff like that, you still gotta pay for drinks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's still the same thing. I mean, to me, I guess it doesn't matter how long you know someone, because you never know what someone's true intentions are. You can be friends with somebody 10, 15 years and they could be deep down hating and plotting on you. But I do
Mm.
remember her mom saying that those were not the regular group of friends that she would normally travel with.
Ah, I feel her dad, like, I
Oh
could
my God.
barely
I
watch.
couldn't
Like, he
even
was just,
watch.
all right,
The way
okay,
he broke down, I was like,
yes.
oh, and I am not an emotional person. And you probably know this about me. I'm not an emotional person. I'm not a crier. But when I watched him, I was like, oh, my heart like
Yeah.
sank. I was like, I can't even fathom something like that happening to,
Yeah.
one of my kids, and not knowing. And these people are literally walking around like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's because our life goes, I guess people forget that our lives go on.
Right.
Oh, I didn't, let me read it. I forgot to read stuff. Hello, Daisy. Sorry. I'm not good at this.
Oh, I said hi to her. That's why I have the other device.
Oh, okay. That's my husband. People that has as much to lose. People that have as much to lose. Oh, yes, that's
Right.
true.
Yeah. Because if they're not on your level, it's gonna cause drama. And it's not saying that you got to be rich or anything like that, but you want to go on trips with people that have their own money, that can pay their own way, so that way, for one, you don't feel restricted on what you do, and then
Yes.
also too, so that way you don't feel obligated to pay for them. Like, it sucks going, first of all, I wouldn't even go on vacation without money. I don't know how people do that.
I don't answer that either. I
I
don't
don't
answer
even
that
go to
either.
the I won't even go to the mall without money. So I know I'm not
Okay.
going on vacation without money. You
Yep.
know? And that's
Yeah.
the thing too. I think we just have to be very careful. And I
Mhm.
know a lot of people are very trusting, and sometimes you can't trust everybody.
You
You
really,
can't
and
trust
people,
everybody.
young people need to understand that unfortunately, you can't trust everybody. I tell my son all the time, if you have a friend and they ask for something, sometimes say no. Say no and see how they react.
Right. That's how you know what you're dealing with.
Okay, that's when you know you got a true friend. If they don't switch up, you good. You
Because
Gooch. I guess would
a
be
lot
kids
of
say.
times our people are friends with you when you're able to give and give and give. The minute
Yes,
that you're not able to give, now
yes.
it's a problem. And I tell my son the same thing. I'm like, because he's 19, and he's very giving. And when they go out or whatever, like, they'll go to dinner with their friends, and he'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna pay for so and so. And I'm like, well, didn't you pay for so and so last time? Like,
Okay.
no, we're
Yeah.
not doing this. Like, we're not going to, like, I can't, I don't have money to be giving you to pay for somebody else. And the money that you work for, why would you want to spend that on somebody else? Like, if that's the case, you can take Logan to dinner. if you want to pay for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's so
sometimes
true. That is so true.
you do have to say no sometimes, and it's okay to say no. A lot of times people are afraid to say no because they don't want to lose that person's friendship. If I
Mm,
have to be afraid to tell you no, then I don't think that we're really friends to begin with.
right. And no is a complete sentence. I ain't gotta explain shit to you. No mean no, and I'm gonna look at you.
Right.
You know,
Nope.
you gonna get that look. No, that's it.
Right. That's the thing too, you know. I think really like in this situation, you know, they went on this trip to have a good birthday trip. It was Dejanay and Nazir's birthday, you know, trip or whatever. And Nazir even said that he wasn't even supposed to go on the trip. He
God.
wasn't so he said it, he's like, I wasn't even supposed to go. That's why I didn't get there until the next day, because I wasn't even supposed to go on the trip with them.
Mm.
He decided last minute to go.
I wonder why he decided. I guess he just
Well,
was like,
well,
okay.
what he said in his video was supposedly that, you know, he had some other things that he was, you know, doing throughout the summer and stuff like that, and he didn't know how his money was gonna be, and he didn't
See?
want to tell them, yes,
Mm-mm.
I can go, and then something
Mm.
happens and then he couldn't afford it. So I guess once he got everything straightened out and realized that he could afford to go, he probably bought his, you know, plane tickets from here to Mexico aren't really that expensive. You know,
No.
he probably bought his plane ticket because they probably had already done paid for the villa and all that,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
So they was like, yeah, come on, we want you to go anyway. But in that video that he did, he seemed to be so upset that he didn't get to experience the personal chef and all of that. He was like, I didn't even get to roll up. I didn't get to do nothing on the show. I was like, what?
Is that is that and I hate to say it because I mean again I have a 21-year-old. Is that a part of this generation? They're so selfish. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but sometimes they act like they so damn selfish. It's just kind of
They
oh
feel very entitled.
entitled. Yeah,
They're
they
very
do.
very entitled. They're all about self. They're all about appearance. They're not like how we were when we were growing up. You know, we kind of had compassion for people. We grew up in a
Yeah,
different time. Like we were kind of like that last generation that, you know, played outside. You
yeah.
know, we had internet, but we didn't have internet because you couldn't be on the internet all night long because your mama
Oh
had to
no.
stay on the phone and let Miss So and So call and that line busy. When you
Okay.
finally get off that internet, oh, you was getting in trouble. You know, we are the last generation of having that type of upbringing, you know, with encyclopedias and going to the library to actually do your
Yes.
research. We didn't have, now it's like, okay, I got a phone. Everything is
Right.
in the phone.
Yeah.
From a toddler, everything is in the
Yeah.
phone. They know how to do everything on the phone. So it's so different. These kids now, they don't understand hard work. They don't
No.
understand, they don't even know how to write in cursive, you
I
know?
yeah. My son, my oldest knows how. I made him learn. Like you have to have a signature. You have to learn.
Right. And that's what I did with Jeremiah too, because he didn't learn how to write in cursive at school.
Crazy. You need a signature. You have to write in
Right.
cursive.
If you can't do nothing else, you got to know how to sign your name. And, you
Yep.
know, back in our times, it was like, back in our times, like we're like 80 years old, right?
Right.
Back in the olden days, you know, they were like, oh, everything has to be done in cursive. Everything has
Yes.
to be done in cursive. Then when you got to high school, the teachers were like, don't write in cursive because we can't read that.
Right.
I was like, what? I spent all this time learning cursive for you to tell me not to write in cursive. So it's just it's a different time, and this generation is very entitled. They're all
Yeah.
about self and appearance, you know, and it's sad.
That appearance will get you every time. So I want to go over some true things that we do know about the case. It
Mm,
was I said about the U.S. citizen. When you're a U.S. citizen that dies or passes away, excuse me, in a country, it's up to the local authorities to are responsible for determining the cause of death.
right.
And then, and when she goes to Mexico, Mexico don't have no bail. You know they don't have no bail.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
then
don't have any bail.
yeah, and then also, from my understanding, they did issue, like you said, a provisional. Would you say provisional warrant or provisional
Provisional arrest.
arrest? Right. So I know
Yeah.
they have the and an arrest warrant too, and they're looking to expedite. extradite. I keep saying, my husband was like, "You gonna mess that word up," and I
Expedite.
sure
Yeah,
did.
they're
I
looking
blame
to
him.
extradite her back to
Yeah,
Mexico because that's where it happened. But
right.
even after, and also their trial is different from how it is here. It's
Okay.
not going to be like, oh my, listen, my son was coming in the house. I thought somebody was just walking.
Oh Lord.
Listen, talking about this is gonna have me scared. So I think that so they issued the provisional arrest,
Hmm.
and the provisional arrest is what holds her. So I'm
Okay.
assuming since they arrested her in Connecticut, they're holding her in Connecticut.
Ooh, she
Is what
better
I'm
be.
going to assume, unless they send her back to North Carolina. But for Mexico to get her, they said that they have to get their paperwork together because Mexico and the United States have a treaty. So when
Yeah,
she goes there and she does her time there, she still has to come back here and do time here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So her life is basically over because over there, just for femicide, and for people that don't know, femicide is when you commit a crime against a woman for them basically being a woman.
Right.
Um, they said that for that, it's like 30 years just for that alone.
Holy moly,
And
that's a
you think
long
about it,
year.
this girl's what, 20 something years old, 30 years from now,
20.
she'll be fit. Like, that's a long time.
It's a really, really long time.
Right.
Oh,
That's a
hello, lady
hi,
23.
lady, lady 23T.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining.
And then she still has to come, she'll come here and they'll be like, okay, well, yeah, you served your time over there, but now you got to still serve your time here.
Girl.
Because
And I
that's how
heard,
this treaty works with Mexico and the United States. And not only that, that prison that she
yes,
will be in,
I was about to
that
say that, like,
she doesn't speak the language. They're going to extort her for money. She's going to have to be
they
able to
are,
pay for protection there
they
because that
are.
prison is no. Oh my
Uh-oh,
gosh,
we
you're
lost
my.
Katrine.
There I go.
Okay.
Okay, that prison that she's at is, where not where she's at. I'm sorry, guys. Where she's going to be at.
Mhm.
She there's she's basically gonna be. Hopefully, she survives there. Basically,
Yeah, they said it's medium, but I believe what I think Tisa was saying was in the past, the cartel has taken over the jail, like all the
yeah.
guards quit,
Uh
and the
huh.
cartel had taken over the jail, and they were like, "No, we're not coming up here. Like y'all tripping. Like
Yeah,
this
they
is
all
dangerous."
quit. Yeah, they all
Yeah,
quit, and that's the
but
thing too. With over there, the cartel runs it.
they do, and I think that's most Mexican prisons. Like they run it, and that cartel is not no joke. And I listen. I'm good.
Even
I
the
don't need that in my
women,
life.
even right, even the women,
They hardcore.
even the
They
women.
hardcore.
So it's like, what do you think? I don't know. Listen, they messed up. They messed up big, and I feel like they want to get her over to Mexico so she can start talking. Because when she gets there and she sees how those
Ooh.
conditions are, oh, she's gonna sing like a canary.
Yeah, if she's here and she's in Connecticut, not here, but in Connecticut, this is the Hyatt or whatever is above the Hyatt. I don't know.
Like the
Whatever is
W or
above
something
that,
like that. Right. This is like the
right,
W, the Waldorf
right,
Astoria.
yeah. But when you get over there, it's not the same thing. Like you said, you're gonna need money for protection. You have to pay for protection. You can't fight everybody, Debo. You can't do it.
Right. And they will give her a translator, but she won't have a translator every day. It will only be when she's at court.
Well, she better open up books then. She better
So
start
my
her
she
Spanish
and I
now.
guarantee you she don't speak no Spanish. So baby,
That tickled me. I don't know why that tickled me so.
she gonna have to. She better, while wherever she at now, she better be utilizing whatever services they have for her to try to learn Spanish, because over there them people don't play.
No, you better learn.
Even the women over there are hardcore. It's not like, no.
Did you know you can escape from a Mexican jail and not get any additional time added to your
Mhm.
sentence?
Yep.
Because they said it's expected for you to want to do that. When I heard that, I said, "Oh no." I knew they was hardcore. I thought, no, no, no. You fighting every day. She gonna be in the
Exactly.
ring every day.
Uh-huh.
So
But where
you
is she
reach.
gonna run to? Like, if she does try to escape, where would she run to? She can't come back here because she won't even be able to cross the border.
No, it's. I don't think that she unalive her on purpose. It's just a cover up of it that is so nasty and hateful and spiteful. And the reason behind it, I just don't know the reason behind it. What that would say it was okay. And then the fool, it is what it is. The fool who recorded it, it's like you really, really foolish with that. Like,
Now, let me ask you, do you think that they're all going to get time?
no, I don't think so. That's why people.
I
That's
don't
why people are talking.
I don't think, but see, that's the thing too. It doesn't work like so. What they said is that it doesn't work like that in Mexico. Like, even if you talk and you help the authorities, you still do time. It's not like you get a lesser sentence or like a slap on the wrist or whatever. My thing is, I feel like they need her back there so
Mhm.
she can tell on everybody else
Yeah, that's
and
true.
say, oh, well, so and so did this, so and so did that, so and so did that. That's what I think. And I think that's why, even with Khalil, when he made his Instagram story post saying, oh, I got you, no matter what happens, I got you, it's because he don't want her to talk.
Mm, that
So you
sound.
got you got to you have to stay on her good side because
That
the ball's
sound
in her
evil.
court. Right.
That sounds evil when you say that.
Yeah, the
Ah,
ball's in her court. Your whole life depends on her and what she tells those people.
oh my God. Well, heads are gonna turn. I know that for sure. I it is the video is disturbing. I think people need to see it to realize exactly what happened
Right.
because and I still don't understand like he didn't notice, Nazir didn't notice the bruising. All the bruising, I understand he didn't see that because what
But what about the knot on her head?
that part I don't understand, but the bruising because we're African American,
Right. And
African
bruising,
American, we
it's
bruise a little bit
different
later
on us.
sometimes.
But that knot on her head, how did he not see that? He brushed her hair out of
Exactly.
her face.
That's
And he
it.
said it. He
Yeah.
said it. I brushed her hair out of her face. I got a plastic bag. I turned her over to her side. I played some Summer Walker and I was rubbing her face.
Yeah. That's the part that I don't understand how he didn't see the bruising of it.
Right.
Well, we are going to end the live. Um, I don't know, Katrina, is there anything you want to say? I guess I'm just so this brings out the worst and the best in people. You have
Right.
someone pretend to be her cousin, like you get on the internet and doing interviews, like I'm her cousin. Like that's horrible.
Yeah, people are crazy. People
What do you
are
expect to
crazy.
gain from that? Like there was no gain in you doing that. I sometimes I don't like social media. Sometimes I do because it
Right.
brought out the best too. Like
Hmm.
some of us just we shine, and I was. It makes you proud. It just really
Yeah.
does.
And I think, with everything, there's a good and there's a bad. And,
Hmm.
sometimes we just have to do our part to stay on the good and
Yeah,
not get involved too much in the bad. I'm happy, just like you said in the beginning of this, that a lot of creators, are still talking about this because, to be honest with you, the YouTube creators like Tisa Tells and the lead
yeah,
attorney and stuff like that, they are
yeah,
the ones that are really keeping this story out in the open every day. They're putting out, videos about it. They're updating everyone on what they know
yeah,
about the situation. And I think that that's good because her family needs that closure. They need that peace. It's not going to bring her back, but they deserve that because what happened to her, she didn't deserve. And the video is out there. The video is proof.
yeah.
And to me, it seems like an open shut case. It's just for her to get back over there and start snitching or telling or, whatever on everybody else who was with her. And I do believe when she gets over there, that is what she's going to do.
I would
Because
if I
in
was in
her
her
mind,
shoes.
she's going to be like, well, it's either I tell on them and I'm here by myself in this
Yep.
hellhole, or I tell on them and they come over here with me too.
Right. And they know that. They
Right.
know
And
that.
they're going to have to stick together there, because who else are they going to talk to? I mean, there's probably other people that speak English there, but you can't trust those people. You don't even
Mm-mm.
know them. Or you can't trust each other either, because look what y'all did. But
I was
at
about to
least
say you
at
can't trust
least
each
y'all
other.
already know each other. At least you know where you stand with them. You
Right.
know?
That's so true. Like I said, I think people see a video and they don't. It's about a human. It's about a person. It's about a young girl she was kicking ass, like she was doing
Yeah.
her thing, and her future really looked bright. And I don't want this case to just be forgotten. With our
Right.
microwave memories and things like that, because everything is so pop, pop, pop. I don't want that to happen. So I will definitely keep updating. Like, you had to talk me into doing this, but I was like, when I got into it, I was like, this is not right.
Yeah,
This
and I've been following the case since it like first happened. So it's just like an overwhelming amount of information. But
is
I think that it needs to be said, and I'm happy that we did this, and I'm gonna also share it out some more. So that way people can go back and rewatch and stuff. And I think that there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't come out, but also we have to remember that because it took place in another country, their rules are different, and they
yeah,
don't come out with everything. That's just like when she does finally get arrested over there in Mexico, they don't even show the whole face. They put a thing
yeah,
over the eyes.
they
And
do.
it's completely different from how it is here, where there's reporters and there's this and there's that. Over there, they don't do that, because remember, a lot of times they're arresting people over there that are a part of the cartel, and even
Hmm.
the police are afraid of the cartel, so they do what they got to do to
Yeah.
get them in. And okay, well, y'all do what you're going to do in here, but she's going to have a long, she can't even fight. I mean, to me, it's like open and shut.
The law is so gray. It's not black and white. It's so gray.
Right.
That's the only thing. It's just so darn gone gray. But
And
I hope she gets
I
justice.
would feel really, I really hope that they all go back in due time.
Yeah,
That's what I'm really hoping. Even Nazir, because
it's
I
so
feel
sad.
like he kind of incriminated himself by
He
making that
did.
video. He should have had legal counsel already.
Yes.
Somebody should have advised him, don't get your ASS on TikTok and start
Yes.
running your mouth. Don't do
Right.
that. This is not the
Right.
time to do it. He should have shut the hell up and kept it moving, because he implicated himself, he incriminated himself, and he was trying to distance himself from the situation. But what he did was jumped in head first.
He did. He did. Because he just I moved her from here to there. Boom, right there. Well, sir, did you not know that she had passed at that time? It opens
Right.
Pandora's box when you say stuff
And
like
and
that.
even when the doctors are saying, okay, well, she would have passed within 15 minutes of this injury, and that video is from early morning. Well, he didn't get there till 3:30, 4 o'clock. And he said that himself in his
He
video.
did. Yeah, he did say that.
So if this happened even around 11 o'clock in the morning, you got there 4 o'clock, that's hours later. That's hours
Mm-mm.
later.
It is hours later. She had to have been passed away at that time.
Right.
Well, everyone, I'm going to end the live. Thank you all for attending.
Yes. Thank you for
Um,
having me.
yes, thank you, Katrina. And as everyone knows, Katrina is awesome. We'll have to do
Thank
some more,
Yeah. Just let me know so that way we can promote it and all of that stuff. And I'm going to also
I
share
promoted
it
on Facebook, but my Facebook people did not come. So I'm devastated. I'm not.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
listen, it's still gonna be up here, and we're gonna share it out some more so that way people can go back and watch it.
That's so true. Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Everyone have a
Thank
great
you.
night. Be
Have a good
safe.
night.
Bye.